Hello, I just wanted to do this quick little video on the last of the major prophets and with Prophet Daniel. And Daniel's name meant God is my judge. And Daniel was in ministry from 620 BC to 538 BC. And he was carried off to Babylon in 605 BC by King Nebuchadnezzar. And Daniel was a faithful man of God, but then he demonstrated his faith in God by praying to God, even though he knew that doing so could cost him his life. I mean, he prayed to him anyway. He didn't care because he knew that God was his source, and he knew that God was the only one that could help him through the things that he would face in his life. So he knew, he knew that even though it could cost him his life, that he was just going to, risk it and pray to him anyway, because he was faithful to God and he trusted God, and he knew that God would be with him and that he would always keep him safe and protect him. So he prayed to him anyway. But Daniel's faithfulness in God led him all the way to the lion's den, and they thought that for sure that with them throwing him in the lions den, he'd be destroyed forever. I mean, they thought for sure he'd be destroyed and the lions would kill him and that'd be the end of Daniel, but it wasn't, because God sent his angels in there to be with them and to shut the lions' mouths so that they couldn't harm him in any way, and that Daniel would be safe, and he protected him and he kept him safe. And that was awesome. But the gift that Daniel had was interpreting people's dreams. God gave him that gift where he knew what his dreams meant, and he knew what other people's dreams meant. So when they had dreams, they could go to Daniel and find out what their dreams meant. Because when God gives you dreams and he shows you things in your dreams, they mean something. And he's telling you something, or he's giving you a warning, or there's so many things that are tied to your dreams that when God shows you something, that they're important. So you don't want to just brush them off. And Daniel had that gift where he could just interpret them and tell people what they meant and stuff, and he can give them insight on it so that they would know what God was trying to tell them, which I think is so awesome that Daniel had that gift. And he lived till he was about 85 or 90 years old, and he was born in 620 BC. But he was an awesome man, an awesome prophet of God. He had such wisdom, and such a gift to be able to interpret people's dreams and just to do the things that God, gave him to do. And he was so faithful to God. I mean, he was just a faithful man. When God had him to do something, he did it. He was faithful to him, and he did what God called him to do, and he was faithful to him to the end. And that was just awesome. I mean, he was just an awesome man of God. Of course, all the major prophets were, but I just wanted to do this little video on the last of the major prophets. And I hope that y'all enjoyed this series that I did on the prophets, and I hope that you were able to learn something and get some insight on them, and just kind of do some digging on your own also, and find out more about them and learn more about them and study about them, because they're so interesting and their lives were so interesting, and the things that they done, it was just amazing how God used each one of them in such different ways, for different things. And it was just amazing to see their ministry and to see the things that, even the trials and the tribulations that they went through. And they went through a lot, because back then it was, a lot different than it is now. The things that they went through then was just, wow. I mean, I can't even imagine going through the things that those prophets went through then. But it was just amazing. But I hope that y'all enjoyed this series that I've done, and I hope that you were able to learn stuff and to do digging on your own and find out more about them. But I just wanted to do the last of them today, and hope that y'all enjoyed it and got, some information out of it that was useful to you, and that blessed you, and was, kind of got you to want to dig in down your own in God's Word and find out more about them. But until next time, be blessed. Bye.